Welcome back to Austin Tech Talk. I'm David Hazen from LiveMusicStage, here with Benji Rogers, CEO of Pledge Music. Hey Benji.
How are you?
Pretty good, pretty
Excellent.
good.
Excellent.
Well, congratulations on all the successes I've been reading about and how you've been helping artists go direct to their fans.
Thank you.
And I'd like for you to tell everybody what it is that Pledge Music does and what makes it wonderful.
Sure. So I view Pledge as a cross between a crowdfunding platform, iTunes, and Facebook. And it's got the social elements of a Facebook or a Twitter. It's got the breadth of a music store like iTunes, Amazon, etc. But it's got the funding mechanisms of, let's say, a Kickstarter, an Indiegogo, or Rocket Hub. But what we've done is we've designed it as a tool for the music industry to use. So an artist says to their fans, pledge here to be a part of the making of my new album. And from day one, you get access to a special part of the site that has rough mixes, live tracks, demos, video blogs, told in a story form as it's actually happening. At the end, a part of the profits can be given to a charity of the artist's choice. So it's a win-win for everybody is the plan.
Every Pledge Music deal has a charitable component?
99% so far. It's optional, but a few have not done it, and also sometimes we do 100% for charity campaigns. So it's up to the artist. But generally, every artist has a great cause that they want to share and be a part of. So that's how we've rolled with it.
Is that sort of a point of difference for Pledge Music?
Very much so.
The good guys, not just about the money going into the pockets of the artist, but doing some good at the same time? Sure.
I think it's also about that every artist that I've ever met, and myself included, I was an artist when I founded the platform, there's always a cause that's important to them, something that means more than just them. And when you go into an album, knowing that it's already been pre-sold, and knowing that the fans are expecting it, and knowing there's a charity, you go into it in a different headspace as an artist. And a lot of artists have said it's very freeing, because rather than sit there and focusing on, is this album going to sell, they're looking at it going, it's already sold, and we're in profit, so we can give a part of that to a charity. And then even better, when a charity gets involved and says, wow, the better this album does, the better we do. And the whole concept of my company was founded on a win-win for everybody.
Sorry, Benji, are you saying that you engage the nonprofits as marketing partners for the release?
If they want to be involved, absolutely. The way I've viewed it is, it's optional. They don't have to be,
required.
But we tell them, listen, these guys are going to be posting out about you. If you want to get involved, do. And we've got charity partners that we've worked with 10, 15 times now. We're really tight with the Musicians on Call people. We love the Sweet Relief guys. A lot of breast cancer awareness charities. It comes from, I worked with refugees in 2004, and that was really important to me, that everything I did going forward had a piece that went to make the world a better place in some way. So that was a good bit.
That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about what makes Pledge Music different from other sort of similar platforms, such as Kickstarter?
So I think what you have is you've got crowdfunding in general, and I'm friends with the Kickstarter guys, I'm friends with the Indiegogo guys, and I know we all know each other. We're all like, we're on the same circuit as you will. What crowdfunding is saying to your fans, give me money now, and then I'll go do something. And my problem with that is it focuses the fans' attention on the money. So if you show, we need $100,000 and then I'll go do something, the problem is what happens when you got it is then you've got to start pre-selling an album, and you've got to start selling an album. You're coming at it from the wrong angle. And if you ask for too much, you look greedy. If you ask for too little, you look desperate. So it's a very hard metric. And what I think happens in crowdfunding campaigns for music, not for tech and everything else, those are great, but in music is it places a false value on something. So if you're skimming a few pages, you'll be like, oh, there's a $5,000 band, a $10,000, $20,000, like you're giving that band a value based on a numeric amount of money. Whereas on a pledge campaign, you only see a percentage, 0 to 100%, you never see a financial target. So what that means is you just see where they are in the process of making their record. And what that does is, it means that, so a lot of the press was centering around big campaigns that raise a lot of money. But then the problem is that then you've got to interface music with that. Whereas what we've done is by not talking about the money, you're talking about what are the cool exclusives going on behind the scene? What are the fans getting? Where's the value for money? And so if you've pledged $10 to get your digital download on Pledge, or you bought $10 on iTunes, you're going to get better value for money as a pledger than you would anywhere else. So we've taken the crowd-sourced element of it, as in you go to your fans and you say, we're making a record, come along and be with us as we do it, but you're not saying, fund our album, and we need $20,000, because I think it distracts fans from the message and it makes participation in one sense harder.
Yes.
What I love crowdsourcing and crowdfunding for is things like making gadgets, when you know you've got a hard number that you need to hit of devices to sell. I love it in films, books, TV shows. Just for music, it's the wrong tool for me personally. And so the reason that we designed the site the way that we did was because I knew that a manager isn't necessarily going to want to put their financials out for the public to see. So as an example, let's say you're an indie band and you've raised $30,000 and everyone publicly knows that you've raised $30,000. When you go to a studio and you say, what's your day rate? They go, $5,000, not $2,000 or $1,000. It's harder to make a deal because you're publicly showing your money. If you take all that off the table, you hold that card, and I believe it empowers the artist to raise what they want and still remain, an artist and keep that part of their life private. Also,
and keep the focus on the music, on
which
the
is what
art,
we're here for,
on the
right?
creation,
Exactly.
and on the issues that are connected to that.
And then another thing is, these crowdfunding campaigns launch and then they end 30 days later or 60 days later. But what if the album takes 6 months? So again, if you run a 30-day crowdfunding campaign, on day 31, it's out, it's done. But that's when it should start. That's the beginning. So we run funding into pre-sale. So our campaigns go from the minute of launch till it comes out on iTunes. So pledgers get it just before everybody else, so they get the experience of getting it first. And we estimate that 37% of an artist's income from launch of campaign till release is left on the table just by closing it at 30 or 60 days. So what happens if at day 31, you're like, we've raised the money to make our album, this is amazing, we're gonna make vinyl. So we would just add in the vinyl. We would add in test pressings, we would add in artwork. So what it's really about is giving...
So you can create the plan as you go. It gives you a lot of flexibility.
It's a dynamic, moving thing. So, and also we sound scan everything. So ultimately, we did a big campaign with the Ben Folds 5, and we were able to deliver them their first top 10 in conjunction with Sony, their label at the time. That was the first ever top 10, and it was based on pledgers being involved from May, as opposed to from 6 weeks before release. So we ran a campaign with him from May till September, and them and the band were basically like showing records coming off the pressing plant. And all that stuff will be lost if they just run a 30-day campaign, because the real action was happening once it was all underway.
Sure, movie studios know it takes a year or more to set up a major tentpole film release, so
Absolutely.
Why should there be a calendar restriction on how long pre-release for an album should go?
I agree, yeah.
That's amazing. Let's take an example of something that wasn't successful in the general space. A lot of people were surprised that Björk didn't do better.
Yep.
What was done wrong with that campaign, and what would you have done either personally or as the CEO of Pledge Music to make that successful?
My heart breaks literally when I see campaigns go out that way. One of the things that we do is crowdfunding campaigns are thought of as being hard. There are like crowdfunding 101 workshops, and there are all these resources that you go to get help. And my answer to that is, why? I've got a team of people who will do that work for you. That's our job. The reason that we take a commission is because our job is to build the campaign for you. Our job is to deliver you. If you don't know what shipping prices are, we'll put them in for you. If you don't know, why would we assume that an artist knows what that is? So our job as a company is to earn our living.
Earn your commission.
And I think what it is looking at Björk's thing, she showed a massive financial figure that she wanted to get. The campaign wasn't really, I don't think anyone gave it the TLC and love. We wouldn't have let it roll out that way. And it's not to criticize Kickstarter or Björk's team, it's just that there was a knowledge gap in there. It didn't have the full weight of what's possible. And for me what it is that we would have said, be a part of this incredible experience. It might take 6 months to do, but we feel that an Android version is best because we would have told more of the why and not just crowdfund it here and then it's done. And also maybe it would have taken 5 months to reach its target. Why end it at 30 days? It doesn't make any sense to me, because the whole point is to get things done, not just to pick an arbitrary amount of time and have it end. And we see this a lot. It's really common because we've run thousands of campaigns. We launched 28, I think it was, campaigns last week alone. It was a really heavy week. And we release, 2 to 3 albums every day. So we've got all the insights into what works and what doesn't. So rather than spend 2 weeks reading blogs or 3 weeks looking at other people's stuff, let us do our job. And we're there to deliver the result that you want, not just be like, we're a platform, go sign up and it's all done for you. Because the reality of it is, getting things in boxes at the end of the day is quite hard. And we've just built the tools so that you as a manager or artist on your own can do that.
Is it industry standard for other companies in your space to have a commission-based business model?
I mean, yeah. I mean, basically, most crowdfunding operates on a 5% or 6% or 4% model. There's some that operate on 15, some on 20. It just really depends on what's needed.
Never on a fee basis.
No.
Never on a flat fee.
No, not at the moment. And I think it's one of the reasons that's good is that it motivates us as a company to do better for our artists. We want to earn our living as opposed to just be a platform. There's a real romantic, wonderful tech vision, which is you just push a button and it all does it for you. I remember early on, we were like, wouldn't it be great if it just ran itself? The answer is we ended up hiring A&R teams. We go out and find bands. We work with them. There's a guy launching next week, and I've been trying to get him on the platform for 2.5 years because I know it's what is going to be best for his career. I know his fans want it. I'm a fan. I want it. And so we make it our job to go get great things. And also a huge thing is that we found that fans are discovering new music on our platform. There's players on every page. You can listen to previews of it, all kinds of stuff. We've got mailing list services built in, data capture widgets. We provide analytics on your fans. It's a properly built out machine. It's designed to get music released. And the reason that we don't have pledged films, pledged books, pledged everything else is because we're not good at them. We're really good at music.
Right,
and
right.
So, you don't walk into a wine and liquor shop looking to buy computers. It's just a different thing.
That's why music is in your name.
Exactly, yeah.
Because music is what you guys...
And we have people asking us all day long, please start pledged film, please start pledged books. And I send them all to Kickstarter or to Indiegogo. And I say, listen, we know these guys, talk to them. They don't send us music projects, but I'm sure we can. I'm sure they will one day.
How many people work for Pledge Music? It sounds like you have
There's
quite a large
around 30
team.
of us around the world. Yeah, we're in Australia, we're in Germany, we're in Denmark, we're in France now, Spain, London, Los Angeles, Boston, New York, kind of all over. Yeah, Nashville. Yeah,
that's great.
We have a good bunch of people. They're there to make shit work. That's our job.
Anything coming up that you're especially excited about that you can share?
Tomorrow I'm doing a presentation with Nielsen. Nielsen's done a big study on direct-to-fan and fan data, which is going to be really amazing with some tantalizing stuff about live streaming, which I'll be able to talk about tomorrow more. But yeah, we're basically having this incredible year, and last year was phenomenal. And this year we're just kind of refining. We're going to roll out Discovery so that you... We put a little button in the platform a few months ago which said, would you like recommendations on new albums that are coming out? And 65,000 people said yes. So we kind of have to meet that demand now. Yeah, it's all an amazing thing that's happening. So
it sounds like the Pledge platform itself is a living, breathing entity that can be tweaked and improved based on feedback, just like the platform and how it works for bands.
The fans said we want to discover music, so we go build that. We're really led by them. If artists say we want analytics, okay, we got to provide you analytics. We're driven by what these guys want. What we do also do is we also tell people what won't work, and that's one of the big keys. We would have had a meeting with the team that ran Bjork's thing and said, listen, we don't think this is going to work. Here's why. So listen to us because we've got this breadth of knowledge, and we think we can get you to where you need to go. Because maybe it's that 100,000 will get a smaller version of it out. But either way, don't show someone that massive amount up front. And again, it's not to fault their process. It's just that this is what we do all day long. And our job will be to say, why don't you try this? Or have you thought about this? And we also say, listen, you're not ready to launch this yet. We need to do 2 weeks of data capture first. Here's a widget, go do that. And one other thing that we've got built into the platform is when an artist does a Pledgers Only update, one of those little it's like a private Tumblr or video blog, and sometimes they can contain a live stream, for example. That would auto-feed the artist's Facebook and Twitter. But if I'm a fan and I've pledged, that same update can feed my Facebook and Twitter. So if you've pledged, I'll see on your wall a video preview of what I then have to pledge to the rest of. So it's about fans sharing what they're doing, not just the moment of, I funded something and that's it.
Would you say that there's an actual Pledge Music community, or is it more that that's a collection of the individual artists?
There are hundreds of thousands of pledgers who all talk to each other within the platform. It's like, that's why I said it's like Facebook meets iTunes, because it's like literally like, certain bands have got these comment threads that are thousands long right now. We have a system whereby you can upload 3 pieces of artwork and let your fans vote on which one they want to be the album cover. You can upload all of the songs and the fans can reorder it. Like, it's really about like fans. The way I view most fans is, I'm blessed. I have a job in which I love going to work. I love what I do. Most people don't have that luxury. So you've got to give them things to do on Facebook, on Twitter, so they can be a part of what's happening. So the more that feeds them, the more that they're able to be a part of a community that lives and thrives and exists. So the reason it's like a social network and a release platform is because every moment of marketing becomes part of the social experience.
It's amazing. Tell me about the core pledgers. Do they share certain characteristics, demographic considerations? Is it just 20-somethings and people don't have time when they're turning 30?
It's all over the map.
Is it genre-based? Is there more of a response for alternative and less for pop or hip-hop? Is it genre-sensitive?
The average fan spends $55 per transaction. So that's $55 in every transaction. And 11% have pledged on more than one campaign, and 5% on more than 3. So what you've got is these guys are just desperate for these experiences. They want to spend high, but the consumer experience of music doesn't offer them that. And one of the reasons that the community's been created is because fans will sign up for iTunes not to buy one album, but to buy all albums. They sign up for Spotify not to listen to one song, but to listen to all songs. So they sign up to Pledge not to just find one artist, but to have multiple experience with multiple artists. And our job has been to catch up with that demand and show them. What pledgers have in common is, these are the guys that know who played drums on the album. These are the guys that know, like that guitarist was replaced by this guy in this time. These are the people that want to have this moment with their artist that nowhere else allows them to have. And I think if you put funding in the way, you confuse that dialogue.
It's a distraction.
Exactly. So we've got like a heavy metal band, and these guys are back together again for the first time in a few years. They want to have a fucking mental party together. And so they're doing it within these comments within the platform. And each one can be Pinterested and Facebooked and tweeted. Like, the entire platform is wired to say, you have your super fan experience here and you share it outwards. So that your friends are like, whoa, where did you get an unreleased track by Ben Folds 5? I want to hear that. They go in to get it, they become part of the community. And that's what we've really tried to foster is this, it's an interactive pre-sale with a charity involved. It's everybody wins. Everyone who signs up wins. That's the goal.
How big can this get?
My goal is that every single release comes out this way. There's not one album, think of it this way, how many thousands of albums are going to be released this year that don't have any fan component to it, other than buy the CD, buy it on iTunes, stream it. That's about the extent of it. So that is a terrible experience for the user. It's a consumer experience. Now there's probably 60% of the music buying population that want that. Fine, although they're not buying it, so I guess it's not working out. But what about the 40% who want more? The untapped demand there is absolutely huge. So the job of anyone releasing music today is to say, if fans are saying, give us this, why don't we just give them what they want? Because if you send me as a super fan to iTunes, the most I can spend is $9.99. If you send me to Spotify, the most I can do is pay Spotify $9.99. If you send me to Pledge, I can spend $1,000 if I want. And why shouldn't that be part of the musical economy? You know, it's a bit like, you know, you rob banks because that's where the money is. I mean, that's, you know, people want this. You just got to give them that opportunity. And what I love is that fans drive the experiences for us.
You've been talking a lot about experiences and fans wanting more experience. What kinds of experience, what kind of experiential add-ons have you either offered or are you talking about offering to take it off of social media and into the physical world? I know it's difficult to scale that out.
It isn't, because what they are is there's a certain, so Ben Folds 5 did the most phenomenal thing. He said to the entire crowd at Bonnaroo, I think it was, everyone give me the middle finger. So they all did, and he takes out a camera, snaps a picture. We put that photo signed up online, available for pledgers. So if you were there, you want to get that, right? the set list from the show. These are all things that cost almost no money.
Yeah.
But what there is for the few fans that get them, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 50, those few are marketing that they have them. It's buying marketing for you, and they want to. They're the ones who pull out their phones on Instagram, take pictures of their signed CDs when they arrive. So really what it is that scaling that side of things is obviously hard, but at the same time, it's so financially lucrative. Because, you know, a band can spend all day signing signed vinyl. You know, every record that goes to vinyl has a test pressing. Why aren't those available? You know, all of that hidden stuff is what fans have asked for. We just have to provide it to them. And I think that it is scalable, just the will has to be there.
Last question. What do you think is the single most important issue going on in the digital music space right now, and what role does Pledge Music have with that?
The biggest single problem is unmet demand. And this is what it is. People stream music all day long, some of them buy music, but they're not able to upspend to what they want. And the data that's going to come out tomorrow is going to prove exactly this, which is that there is this massive, massive unmet demand. People want to spend money on live streams. There's not enough places for them to do that. People want to spend money on signed CDs and vinyl. Why can't they do that? Amazon can't offer signed CDs.
Right.
Why not? It's insanity. That's what people want. So the whole thing is that right now, the numbers that are floating around for what's left on the table is massive. And I don't think that the industry can afford to ignore this. Not, you know, to talk to that as well, the reason for its unmet demand is this. The music industry has sent all of their customers to third parties. We let everyone on Pledge Music keep their own data, so you can recontact your fans as much as you want. They are your fans, your platform, your fans. So you just offer your fans what they want, and they will share it for you. That's the unmet demand.
Assuming artists occasionally say no, why do they say no? On what grounds do they say no to Pledge Music?
It's because they don't fully understand it. A lot of them want what's comfortable, and it's just hard to get there. Yeah.
Benji, thanks so much.
Thanks,
Great
brother.
talking to you.
Appreciate it.